blocked out high. Islanders might have a 2-on-1 here. Lee through the left circle. He's with Everly down the middle. Feeds him, shoots. He scores! Jordan Everly has won it in double overtime on a great feed from the captain. The Islanders win it 2-1. They stayed off elimination, and there will be a Game 6 on Thursday night.
How are we feeling, Islander fans? Alive for at least another game. Islanders, as you heard the call on WHRU, the great Chris King calling the action there. Islanders in double overtime beat Tampa Bay 2-1 to at least get to a Game 6 tomorrow night. And man, was this game so excruciatingly painful to watch as a fan. Not because the Islanders weren't playing well, not because I didn't think they had a chance to win, but when your team is facing elimination and you have to sit through an entire hockey game and then go to overtime and then go to a second overtime, it's brutal. But when your team wins, what a feeling it is. So the Islanders, and I knew they were not going to get blown out last night. There was no way they were just going to mail it in because they were down 3-1. This team has been too special, too resilient to just go down easy. So you knew they were going to come out and play. And they came out, scored the first goal, then the Lightning tied it in the second period, and then no one scored until that second overtime. And you look at how this game went for the Islanders, they were totally out of gas at the end. See, the Lightning have better skill players. I don't think any Islander fan would argue that. And it just felt like if the Islanders didn't find a way to get an odd man rush or come up with some sort of play to get a fast break the other way on the ice, they were just not going to score on a normal like hockey set. They just were out of gas. But it took Anders Lee, the captain of the team, who's been one of the best players all year and who had a monster game last night. He was in the trenches, just doing everything possible two ways, defensively and on offense, to give the Isles a chance. He blocked a shot, created an odd man rush, 2-on-1. Lee with a beautiful feed to Jordan Eberle, who had been getting so many great scoring chances but had been unable to capitalize, and he snipes it through as the Islanders avoid elimination. This game would not have been possible for the Islanders to win if Varlamov in the net for the Isles didn't play as well as he did. 36 saves last night. He shut the Lightning down on the power play. You know, there's a saying in hockey, you know, the best player on the penalty kill has got to be your goalie. And Varlamov was sensational for the Islanders last night. There was some talk on whether or not Barry Trotz, the head coach, would stick with Varlamov for a winner-go-home game number 5 for the Islanders after he played Thomas Greiss in Game 7 against the Flyers in the second round. But the move was Varlamov, and he was great. And this game came down to the fact that the Lightning went 0 for 3 on the power play, including a 4-minute power play at the end of regulation for about 1 minute and 42 seconds at the end of the third period, and then it carried over early on into overtime. So the Lightning had a full 15 minutes to get recharged and come out to start the first overtime on the power play for about 2 minutes and 30 seconds. And the Islanders were able to survive that. You tip your cap to this team because regardless of how this ends, and I said this on Twitter last night before the game, at Jake Asman is where you could see it. I'm proud of this team. The Islanders are in the conference finals for the first time in 27 years. I was not alive the last time they made it this far. So the fact that they didn't go down easy, the fact that they're here, the fact that this is a team with a mixture of young players and veterans, with a great coach, a great general manager, they'll be back. You feel confident they'll be back. But while you're here, you want to try and take advantage. And I just knew they were not going to go down easy. Even if they lost last night, they were not going to get blown out. That's just not who the Islanders are. Not this year. Not this group. And what a win it was. And here's the philosophy when you root for a team that's down 3-1. Here's how you try to, kind of justify the comeback attempt in your mind, right? This is the sports fan justification 101. If your team's down 3-1, you look at it like this. Hey, win Game 5. Just win Game 5. Get to Game 6. And then when you're in Game 6, just got to win a game. Win Game 6. Because if you get to Game 7, anything happens. That's it. Islanders got to find a way to win one more game tomorrow. And then in Game 7, it's a coin flip. Anything happens. You got a shot. And the momentum swings back in the Islander favor. All the pressure would be on Tampa in that Game 7 not to blow a 3-1 lead. that was an all-time moment as a fan of the Islanders. I've never seen them go this far. And for them to, make you sweat it out into double overtime, it's about as good as it gets. Staying alive the Islander way. And we will see if the Islanders stick with some of the lines that they went with in this game last night. And we'll find out if Tampa Bay is going to have Braden Point back, one of their best forwards, for this game tomorrow night, Game 6, because that's a big factor in this. Tampa Bay's beat up. Talent-wise, arguably their best player hasn't played at all in the playoffs, Steven Stamkos, because he's hurt. So this Lightning team is loaded. I don't want to take anything away from them. They're a great team. The Islanders get beat by them. It's not like the better team didn't earn it. But what a win last night. You have to, live in the moment, survive for another game as the Islanders advance. And oh, by the way, I was watching the game with a fellow Islander fan that lives here in Houston last night, and he put up his phone to basically capture our reaction, good or bad, on whatever happened in overtime. Thankfully, they won because you could check out the goal celebration. Ron just retweeted the video from the SportsMap Radio account, or you can find it on my Twitter, @Jake Asman, my live reaction to the Jordan Eberle goal. Needless to say, I was pleased. Needless to say, I was pumped up. So a great win by the Islanders, and let's see if they can keep it going. Why not? Why not this team?